Hey everybody, welcome to Whiskey Whistle. I'm the host of the show, Mark, and you're watching Whiskey Review number 173. This is Ichiro's Malt from the Chichibu distillery, and the Venture Whisky is the name of the company. Now, they operate a distillery called Chichibu, and they also own the remaining casks of a closed distillery known as Hanyu, which was actually owned by the founder of Chichibu Distillery's grandfather. Was the founder of that operation. So he did a really good job buying the remaining stocks of Hanyu, and did also a great job of marketing it as a single malt in those early years. That was starting in 2004, I believe. And then the seed money from all of those casks, the whiskey that was sold from those casks, went towards founding the new distillery at Chichibu. So this is Ichiro's Malt MWR Mizunara Wood Reserve. Let me bring it close up for you. It's 46% ABV, it's non-chill filtered, and it is natural in color. All the things that we like to see. It doesn't have an age statement. It could be, technically it could be as young as 2 years. If this is from 2010, as some sites I have read claim, or if this is an ongoing product from the distillery, then it'll have, well, whiskey distilled in 2008 at the Chichibu distillery mixed with old Hanyu stock from the Hanyu distillery. So it's called MWR because it has been matured it's been solely matured in Mizunara oak from Japan. That is the name of the oak trees that grow in Japan, one of them anyway. And as you may have noticed, I just topped this up. That's because I botched the first review of this. Let's hope I don't botch this one too, because I'm quickly running out of this little 200 milliliter bottle. Anyway. Color-wise, we're looking at something a little bit beyond gold. This is more like a burnished gold or perhaps a brassy color. Not quite copper. Very nice. And as you can see, if you can, I think you can, I'm going to bring the glass up close to you. The legs are certainly nice and viscous. And then after you wait long enough, you get really impressive beading on the glass, and I believe, as I always do believe, this is from the fact that it hasn't been chill filtered. You get really thick beads. So let's get into this now. I'm so glad you're here, and if this is your first time watching the Whiskey Whistle reviews, click review, click subscribe. There should be a subscription button right around here somewhere. So click on that one. That'll help me immensely. And I've got 172 other reviews for you to look at, and lots of playlists. So if you like, say, a Glenmorangie or a Glenlivet, I've made playlists of my reviews of those. So check those out too. All right, on to the nose. Spicy. Tropical fruitiness. There is also a lot of savory notes coming through here. Almost like a cracker type of a scent coming through there as well. Now, from my notes, the tropical fruit that I would get, if you wait long enough, there's something citrusy, and there's also some mango. And the longer you wait, a bit of pineapple, a little bit of dark chocolate in there too. And you do notice that there is some younger spirit in there, which could be, as I said, as young as 2 years old and as old as, say, around 8. Lots of wood, lots of really rich wood kind of influence. Fresh cut wood, fresh cut cedar planks. And also some florals, something like a sweet rose. And if you wait over an hour, then you'll get more of those savory notes, something like roasted peppers and a little bit more even just straight pepper coming through. Roasted sweet vegetables. Anyway, let's get on to the palate now. Cheers, everyone. Big sweet arrival. Then it gets very dry. Not a lot of bitterness here. Mainly just sweet and then some tartness and dryness coming through. Quite a large, that kind of umami, that savory note coming through as well. And very plummy on the palate. It reminds me of red plums, or even the lighter colored ones when they're not quite ripe and you want to leave it in the basket for a few more days. That's about the flavor that I'm tasting. Ginger, pickled ginger even, and the finish quite dominated by the spice and the dryness. Still very plummy also. And for the flavor lasts a long time. The dryness carries on and on, but really the flavor, the plumminess, little hint of vanilla peeking through there, a slight little bit of tartness also. These things are still well kept on my palate as time passes here. All right, time to add some water. Now, the one you're looking at to my left, to your right, is, there we are, from the same company, Ichiro's Malt, and this one is known as Double Distilleries. And here, the focus of this one is the Mizunara. That's the focus, and that gives it its color, and it gives it most of its flavor profile, I would say. With the second one, which will be coming up in review 174, the focus is, I believe the Hanyu distillery. So bringing that to the forefront to show regular people like myself what the Hanyu whiskey tastes like, because I will not be able to buy any straight Hanyu anytime soon, unless you tell 10 friends who tell 10 friends who each tell 10 friends who each tell 10 more friends that they should come and subscribe to WhiskyWhistle and watch about one episode per day for the next, every day for the next forever. Then maybe I'll have enough money to buy some Hanyu. We'll see. You never know. If you've got some and you'd like to share, by all means, you can send me a message, and I'd love to review it if you've got it and you're willing to part with it. At least part with just a small sample. All right, so onto the nose. A mix of Hanyu and Chichibu whiskey. It's a blended Japanese malt. So blended Japanese malt whiskey. They've gone ahead and called it a pure malt, which I'm sure the Scotch Whisky Association didn't like. All right, so now with water, you may not be able to see that, but I can already see some Japanese mist developing in the glass there. So it's getting a little bit cloudy. That's because it's unchill filtered, and when the solution, when the alcohol percentage drops much below 46, a lot of the solids will solidify, will come out of solution in the whiskey. All right, now I'm going to agitate this quite a lot. It smells a lot older now, which is really interesting. I get a hint of leather in there, and much more nutmeg And I write here also, more chocolate marzipan emerges, and that's cool because I'm Danish and I love that stuff. And apricot kernels. Well, I'm Canadian, but my father's Danish, and I identify as a Danish Canadian. I also identify as a Ukrainian Canadian. That's my mother's side of the family. If you give it enough time with water, and I'm not, I guess kinda, it kind of reminds me of Springbank minus the tobacco. Is that crazy? I don't know. Why would it? Because, well, the stills are from Scotland, and also Chichibu are actually floor malting, as does Springbank. So that could be one influencing factor. Okay, well, enough about the nose. Let's get onto the palate now with water. Cheers again. The dryness has really subsided. Sweet and savory all together there. And I write here sweet ripe fruits. I also wrote Edredauer, so it reminds me of Edredauer here with water, and that may be because of the size of the stills. I'm pretty sure that the still size for Chichibu is probably roughly similar, maybe a little bit bigger than Edredauer. I always write illegible things. I did write virtually no dryness on the palate now with water added. And the finish, marzipan, apricot kernels. It's still a bit dry in the finish. A little bit of pepper also on the tip of my tongue. I know it's a little bit of pepperiness, which is nice. Now, oddly enough, I didn't give this a score, did I? Well, it's got something different than other Japanese whiskeys, and also different than whiskeys in general, with single malt whiskeys, blended malt whiskeys. It's too bad they couldn't call that a double malt, because that's really what it is, I believe. I don't think they're buying any stocks from other Japanese distilleries, and I don't think they would sell them to the venture whiskey company. Anyway, so what am I going to give this one? Well, tough call. Neat. It's really dominated by the young whiskey. And then with water, it seems like the older stock comes out and the young whiskey gets tamed down a lot. So I definitely like this with water. I like it a lot with water. And it's pretty good with without. It's pretty good neat. Now, I think that when you're going to sell a whiskey, it should dazzle from the beginning. You shouldn't have to add water to coax out some real strengths from it. So I think I'm going to go with 83 out of 100 for this one. 83 out of 100, that's the WhiskyWhistle whiskey score for Ichiro's Malt MWR, the Mizunara Wood Reserve. 83 out of 100. All right, anyway, if you can find that, I do highly recommend it. It's not that expensive. Probably for, I should temper my thoughts here. It is not that expensive considering it's got Hanyu in it, and also that it's 46% and unchill filtered. It would probably be around about 120, 130 US dollars for a full bottle of this. Okay, anyway, I paid 59,000 won here in Korea for that one. Oh, and I should say that I got it at the malt shop. Cool people there. Do check them out if you haven't been. And if that's difficult for you to get to, I also noticed that there were some places in Namdaemun that also carry. Okay, anyway, so that's that. Stay tuned for Double Distilleries next, and don't forget to subscribe right over here. There'll also be a little icon floating around pretty soon So stay tuned for that. And glad you joined me. Hope you join again. And don't forget to subscribe. Also Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, WhiskyWhistle. Look me up and follow. All right, so check that out. We'll see you very soon for that one. Take care now. Goodbye. So, all right, let's get things ready here. Do I need to stop? I don't think I need to stop at all. All right.